Stadia is less than 2 weeks away and I've already built up quite the wish list. So grab a cold one and let's party. If you're interested in videos like this, game reviews, info on Google Stadia, and my thoughts on the world of gaming, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and click that bell notification to stay up to date on our videos. So today, I'm gonna go over the top 10 things I am hoping to see from Google Stadia in terms of the games they're going to offer. And while most of these do have a realistic possibility, I'm going to just get this out there and say there are a couple that, well, they're huge pipe dreams of mine, so be aware of that. Of course, I'm also going to be announcing a giveaway. We are going to be giving away my Buddy Pass, my 3 months, to one of you guys. Of course, the information will be in the description below, as well in a pinned tweet over on Twitter at PartyBall. And also I want to mention that on launch day, November 19th, at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time, we are going to be streaming over on twitch.tv/PartyBall. We're going to play some Destiny 2 over on the Google Stadia platform for the very first time. God willing, everything goes just fine and dandy with my internet that day. However, let's not waste any time and get into my top 10 games I want to see from Google Stadia in 2020. Number 10, Fortnite. Wait. Don't go. I swear. This has a point. Stay with me. Number 10 is Fortnite and other free-to-play games. As far as I know, Destiny 2 will only be available on Stadia as the collection, meaning it will still need to be paid for. So with number 10, I'm referring to the officially free-to-play games like Fortnite, Warframe, Apex Legends, whatever. Over on the Switch, PlayStation, and PC, you can play free games like this without needing any kind of online subscription. I do believe you need an Xbox Live account to play these games, but I know for certain Nintendo Switch Online and PlayStation Plus are not needed, and PC gaming just doesn't require any additional subscriptions to play online. Having free-to-play games on a free platform such as Stadia will allow Google to let potential customers test drive their service, as it were. They get to see how these games perform on their internet with no obligation, and Google can potentially gain new customers due to this. I will make the mention now that I am aware what games come to Stadia isn't 100% on Google, as these publishers and developers will need to have that want to be on the platform to begin with. But I think it would be wise for Google to pursue free-to-play games such as the ones mentioned from a business perspective, and whether you like it or not, these games attract a lot of people, and the more consumers on the platform, the more Google pays attention, and the more they invest back into their own platform. Number 9, the Injustice and Batman Arkham series. I'm grouping these together under the DC Comics umbrella, and longtime viewers of my channel, and by long time I mean like 3 months, will know that I started creating content on YouTube talking about the Arrowverse over on the CW. At the same time, I wanted to talk about gaming as well. Knowing that the Arrowverse has a shelf life whereas gaming will not, I decided to focus my efforts entirely on the gaming side of things. Long story short, I love DC Comics, and specifically, I love the Arkham series and the Injustice series. The Arkham series was quite possibly one of the best series to come out of the 7th generation of consoles. If you haven't experienced playing as the Dark Knight, I implore you to do so, as the Arkham series on current gen consoles can often be found on ridiculously low sales. As for Injustice, if you are unfamiliar, it is literally Mortal Kombat with a DC skin on it. Granted, there aren't fatalities within the fighting aspect, but it's as great as a fighting game as there is. The story on top destroys anything Mortal Kombat gets, and I'll fight anyone who says different. Stadia will get to test drive how this works with Mortal Kombat 11, and since the same studio creates Injustice, it's a no-brainer. Number 8, Celeste. Celeste came out about a year or so ago and is one of the best games I have played this generation. It's a platformer from indie studio Matt Makes Games and got rave reviews upon release. It's seen a release on pretty much every platform at this point, and was one of my very first purchases on the Switch eShop when I got my Switch some time ago. It's an extremely challenging platformer that has a unique take on double jumps, as well as plenty of collectibles and replayability attached with it. One of the biggest appeals of Stadia to me is the play anywhere aspect of it. And while I really wanted to do my best to avoid games on the Switch for this exact reason, I would really like the ability to play Celeste on a bigger portable screen, i.e. my tablet. Also, I'd like to see Celeste continue to make money on other platforms, and if you haven't played it, go do so now. Number 7, Call of Duty Modern Warfare. I haven't had much time with Modern Warfare just yet due to a busy work schedule, but in my limited time with it, I have grown quite fond of the game. This is the first time I've bought a Call of Duty game so close to launch since Modern Warfare 3. Stadia is going to need a big system seller, as it were, and Call of Duty is a big enough name to fill that role. Whether you hate or love the Call of Duty series, it's hard to deny its popularity, and giving people the opportunity to play keyboard and mouse with Call of Duty on any computer is certainly going to be appealing to a lot of people, especially with crossplay being active in Modern Warfare. Number 6, Rocket League. Now, Rocket League has almost a similar description for me as Celeste did. It's a fantastic, independently developed game that, unlike Celeste, has grown wildly popular as time has gone on. The concept is simple if you are unfamiliar. You're in a car and try to knock in a huge ball into a goal. To put it simply, it's soccer in a car. My favorite variation is the hockey mode, in which you are driving on ice and trying to make the puck into the goal. Rocket League also has crossplay enabled and plenty of aesthetics for your vehicle to make it your own. As I mentioned before, I like DC Comics, and the DC related stuff is an absolute treat to see. How rad would it be to play Rocket League on your phone? Seriously. Number 5, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. I may change my tune after I get my hands on the PS4 version soon, but EA and Respawn are possibly going to give us one of the best Star Wars games in some time, and after the last 2 stinkers, the only way to really go is up. We have been promised no microtransactions or multiplayer for Fallen Order, so once you beat the game, you are done. No doubt this game will be data heavy when it comes to storage, so having a cloud version of what could be a Game of the Year candidate would be clutch for some. Also, if you're not a fan of EA, you may not like this next one either. Number 4 is EA Sports titles. FIFA and Madden are some of the biggest names in gaming. Madden is incredibly popular here in the States, and FIFA is elsewhere. Since I'm a dumb American, I'll focus on what I know, and that is Madden and NHL. EA, for whatever reason, has not been playing all that well with Nintendo and crapped out a FIFA 20 port that is FIFA 19 with roster updates. And I'm not saying that passive aggressively. I literally mean that. Here's the box art if you haven't seen it. Anyway, EA is not giving me much flexibility in playing these sports titles that exist from no other developer due to licensing agreements. I miss you, NFL 2K, please come back. The sports library at launch for Stadia is quite slim already, with NBA 2K20 and Football Manager 2020 being the only ones in the sports world. Madden is a huge seller every single year, and it should be, as it is the only way to play NFL football on your home console or PC. While Madden has its fair share of problems, and they can be quite extensive, the core gameplay is still a fun experience if you're looking for a casual way to play some virtual football. The NHL series, however, remains one of my favorite experiences in sports gaming, as its quick-paced nature and consistently entertaining online versus mode can keep me busy for hours. Stadia would have 2 purchases from me if Madden and NHL found their way to the Google platform. Number 3, Stadia exclusives. Now, we have one Stadia exclusive in the form of Guilt, and I'll be honest, I was shocked to learn that Stadia was getting an exclusive right off the bat, although I use that phrase lightly as Guilt currently has no release date. I could have an entire video dedicated to why I think exclusives are awesome and are a necessary evil, and a welcome one in some regards, but Stadia will need something to truly stand out from the pack. In my last Stadia video, I mentioned how Microsoft entered gaming in 2001 and did so with Halo in tow. Stadia needs something in the first year that's similar that could be considered their Halo. A reason why people need Google Stadia. I need my PlayStation 4 so I can play MLB The Show, Uncharted, The Last of Us, and Horizon Zero Dawn. Stadia needs to give me a reason outside of its platform to buy into it and keep coming back. Stadia needs a system seller, bottom line. Number 2, the Mass Effect series. Now, this admittedly and my number 1 are pipe dreams of mine. I truly think that everything to this point is absolutely possible, and in some cases quite probable that it will happen. EA has made mention that they are interested in bringing out fan favorites for remasters, and I have dreamt of the day of the Mass Effect series coming to the Switch, but with the way EA has been with Nintendo the last few years or so, Stadia would be an easier fit for EA to manage. Sonic may be my all-time favorite video game character, but if I really sat here and truly discussed with myself, I would be hard-pressed to say another series tops Mass Effect for me. I've never been so engrossed in the game as I was during the final mission of Mass Effect 2. After spending nearly 60 hours in the build-up to it, I had grown to love these characters I had spent so much time with, and Shepard was me as a space hero come back to life. This is really my biggest wish, even though it isn't number 1, because number 1 is the least likely scenario ever happening. Number 1 is my entire Steam library. NVIDIA GeForce Now allows its beta users to stream approved games from their Steam accounts. While I'm not sure if this is an exclusivity thing or not, I would love to see Stadia adopt the same ability. This would open up everyone's Stadia library and give Stadia users a head start in certain aspects. While I understand Google would be kind of cutting itself off here in certain respects financially, it would be awesome to have that ability. A lot of my games on this list happen to be in my Steam library already, so it would check off a lot on my wish list. I'd give this a less than 1% chance of happening, but man, would it be cool. So that was my top 10 games that I want to see on Google Stadia come 2020. What did you think of it? Are there any that we share? And of course, let me know down in the comments your top 10 games that you hope to see come over to Google Stadia. As well, don't forget to follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch at PartyBall. Get subscribed, of course, we already mentioned that. Drop a like on this video, really help us out. And as always, thank you, and party on.